Funniest shit in the world, man. I, as a human being, and as a man, and as an adult, I typically try to do my best to learn something new every day. Whether it is me teaching myself something new or me learning something new from someone or somewhere. You can receive knowledge from anywhere or anybody. Age, physical condition, doesn't matter. You can obtain knowledge and find knowledge in anything and everything and everywhere. And that's something I've always known, something I was taught. But I've been sitting down thinking, and life is so crazy, especially being a parent. Life is so crazy. And a lot of times, we don't take the time to understand that a great deal of the time, when you are the disciplinarian in a child's life, a great deal of the time, those children tend to have a dislike or less of an attraction for the parent who is the disciplinarian. I could spend hours going into the details of why, but I'll spare you. But I will say this: when you love your children, you do your best as a parent to teach them right from wrong and also to teach them the dangers of life. And a great deal of times that comes with discipline. And kids being kids, including adults, who likes to be disciplinary? No one. Who likes to be called out on their shit? No one. There are adults to this day that do not like to be called out on their shit. And if you are adult, or if you are an adult and you call another adult out on their shit too many times, eventually they will have a dislike for you. And that's just the way life is. No one wants to face the reality reflection of themselves, because a lot of times it's a hard pill to swallow. And as a youth, from the parents' perspective, we pray that when our kids get older, that they will have the capabilities and the knowledge to see why we raise them the way that we raised them. Why do we want them to be better than us? Which they are automatically better than us. There are new and improved versions of us. But the fact of understanding why I remember being 17, talking to my father on the phone and telling him that, hey, Dad, I'm not calling you for money. I'm not calling for you for anything but love. I want the relationship that you and I had before this. I don't want you to think that because I'm calling you for something other than just you. That was the day that I realized that I had became an adult. Because most of my childhood, I would call my dad if I needed something. And I didn't really realize that my dad always felt like he was obligated to do something for me financially. But what he did not realize that the lessons in life that he was teaching me and the things that he taught me as far as how to build, how to work on houses, how to build houses, how to design things, how to work on electrical, how to work on plumbing, how to work on HVAC, how to work on anything, how to work on cars. He had no idea of how valuable that was to me. And it's because I never told him as a young man. And I never realized that I neglected the fact to tell him how much I appreciated him for the things that he had taught me. I never realized how much I appreciated the things that my mother, my great grandmother, my great grandfather, my grandfather, and my aunts had taught me as a youth. And, if you know me, you know I have very, very high regards for my mother. I've always spoke highly of my mother despite the fact of her lifestyle. I understood her lifestyle, what she was in the past. She's not that anymore, but I've always understood what she was in her past. And if she were to ever get a chance to look at this and see this, I would want her to know that I thank you for everything that you've ever done for me. The things that I had no knowledge of and the things that I had knowledge of. And so much more. And I can't thank you and praise you enough for who you were in my life and the role that you played and the part that you played in my life, making me the man that I am today as a mother. And that I can never take from you. We all have our problems as parents because we are human beings. And some of us never take the time to think about things like that. But as a young adult, At some point in time in your life, you have to open your eyes. You have to think about your choices in life and how you look at your parents and the knowledge that your parents try to pass on to you for the well being of yourself. See, in today's society, a lot of women think that it mainly takes money to raise a child. And for the shallow, they feel like that is the main part. But can you imagine having a being that is a father that's around, but he never teaches you anything, never shows you anything, never has any lessons in life to show you or to teach you? He just sends you out in the world just blind, lost. That is one of the worst things you can do as a man to your children. Being a father is not just being a provider. It's so much more to that. As a matter of fact, being a provider is only 10% of being a father. There are parents that do nothing for their children financially, but mentally and emotionally, they do so much for them. And that's what the kids really remember. Kids aren't materialistic when they're kids. They don't care about the value of things. All they care about is love. And here's the funny thing about love. Love doesn't always feel good. Love isn't always happy. Love isn't always easy. A lot of times, love is complicated. Love is painful. Love is hard to swallow. Love is the truth, even when you don't want to tell it. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, there's so much more to life, to being a parent, outside of financial means. You can provide the world to them financially, but if you don't give them any knowledge, any wisdom, or any guidance, you are not doing your part as a parent. I asked my kids today, did they know the difference between intellect and wisdom? Intellectually, they had it together, but as far as the wisdom part, they had the understanding and the knowledge to know what it was and what it is, but what it actually and literally takes to obtain the wisdom and what comes with it, they could not comprehend. And most kids can't. Young adults, whatever you choose to call them. Because wisdom is something that's gained with time. And it takes a lot of time to obtain wisdom. And sometimes you have to get bumped, bruised, scraped, and everything else to achieve these things. And wisdom is never ending. Never ending. You constantly gain wisdom if you apply yourself and you seek it. And for as much as I believe in the Bible and I utilize the Bible, there's much yet that I am uncertain about the Bible. I am a firm believer in God. Firm believer. But wisdom has taught me that man has the power and has always had the power to rewrite and corrupt any and everything that they have touched. And I see that so much in life. And it's like when you get to a certain part and a certain time in your life, you tend to question a lot, as you should, because that is wisdom. And you have to take life at face value. And you figure it out as you go by what you see here. And it's like it's just one step at a time. And it's like when you're young and you're living life, it's like a lot of times we don't take the time to stop and think about anything. We just want to go, 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 go. And a lot of times that's not good. And it's like every individual is different, whether it be adult, young adult, baby, teenager. Every human being is different. And you have to tend to people individually as they are according to their personalities. And that is always a gamble. Because at the same time, you have to take in your own personality also. And when you have a youth or kids that just don't quite understand or want to understand your reasonings for the discipline, then you tend to have a problem. And here's the funny thing about that. In today's world, I have seen children take parents' lives. I've seen parents take children's lives. I've seen families destroyed, and so much more. And the world is so not right. And the world does not love anyone but the world. And you must teach your children this. Because if you don't, it can affect you and your family as a whole. There are four sides to a story. What they say, what you say, what the other person says, the opinion, and what really happened. And when I say the opinion, I mean the opinion of the person that are judging the two, or the onlookers. And one thing social media has taught me, everybody's an onlooker. Because social media is just like this big old, like, this hourglass of television that you can just look into, and you can judge whatever you want to judge without even looking at all sides. It's so easy to paint a picture in this day and time to where all you have to do is get a glimpse, and people are so feeble-minded, they can take that 3-second video and base an opinion just off the action that they are capable of seeing within itself. They never look deeper. They never say, well, how did this happen? Like, it's rare that people question what they see. And you would think AI would be teaching them a lesson to how easy it is to doctor anything up, and how easy it is to paint a picture of someone on social media. And it's like, if you are not careful, you can misjudge someone. And in the real world, beyond social media, because social media is used as a tool in the real world, you can, as a person that plays a role in the world, can destroy someone's life by drawing your own weak-minded conclusions of what is happening in a scenario that you are a viewer of. We have to be careful of what we do and how we judge people in life. As a child, man, I was always taught, question everything that you see. Everything that you see, everything that you hear, always question it. Always say, what if? That way, you bring awareness to yourself, and looking before you leap, especially before you speak, you get an opportunity to not make yourself look like a fool. And also, it gives you enough time to say, well, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? If you were not there, you do not know what has happened in that scenario. The only thing we know is what we see. And guess what? It's so many actors out here in the world until it's not even funny. And there are great actors. People that don't even have movie deals. And if your mind is just that weak not to analyze what you see, you can be fooled. AI does a great job of fooling people. Extremely easy. And that is knowledge for you there. And it's just like if we don't take the time to teach our children to analyze everything, we will have a world full of gullible, easy to mislead, easy to convince people. Teach your child how to question all things. Never allow your child to be afraid to question anything in life. Help them question things in life. Help them question everything in life. And changes can sometimes happen. It takes a world to change things. It's hard for just one person to change something about the world. I teach my kids this, and I see this a lot. We're always referred to as a race: the black race, the white race, the Spanish race, Indian, Vietnamese, French, German, Palestinians. We're always considered as a race. Stop allowing the world to classify us as different races. We're from different cultures and we are different colors, but we are one race, the human race. The world and social media, or it's helping our children, but at the same time, it's destroying our children. And when I say destroying them, it's severely destroying them. But it's up to us to give them the guidance that they need in order to make a change. And if we don't apply ourselves in our children's life the proper way, then everything that you dislike about man and woman will never change. It starts with us as parents, us as men and women, to make the change within our households. Racism is taught. It's taught. People aren't born that way. And it's sad that yet still today, that when you fill out an application, race is one of the many things that are asked. Why does culture have to be so important when it comes to employment? Employment is supposed to be an equal opportunity. And if that being so, why is culture or race, as they say it, seems to be so important. Food for thought. We may not be able to save ourselves, but guess what? If we start with our children, regardless of what culture we are, eventually a change will come. Eventually a change will come. If we keep in mind that we are one race, let me say this again. One race, the human race, but we are many different cultures. And if we know that we are all equal, man, woman, are all equal, life would be so much better. So much better. The most scariest thing in the world is sending your child out in the world, having them to be afraid of being judged by the color of their skin or their culture. There's so much we as parents have to be afraid of. And the only thing that we can do as individuals to make a change is teach our youth and our children the reality of life. Yes, we've all been scarred in some form or fashion by someone in the human race. But I think if we start accepting the fact that we are all one race and we're just different cultures, I think that may be a small start, a very small start. And when I say very small start, that is just a very small start because it's deeper than that. Way, way, way deeper than that. And I can't stress that enough of how much more deep it is. But the thing is, our children, they only know what we teach them. And as a parent, it is your job to give your child a free fighting chance in the world. A fair, free fighting chance in the world. Why would we want to corrupt them to make them dislike other cultures? Yes, I understand that in this day and age you have to make them aware of how other cultures look at people and people that come from other different cultures because it's dangerous and you don't want to see a child hurt, flipped, and gone. But Like, man, can we not agree that it is a miserable life having to worry about, is your child safe? Like, that's something that we all can agree on universally. The love we have for our children. For those that love their children and want to be a part of their children's life. Is that not something that we all cannot agree on? We all have a common interest. All the parents. The best future that we can give our children. And as a whole, the best future we can give our children is a future of peace, love, freedom, and safety. Without reasonable doubt. If you love your children, that's definitely something that every parent wants to give them. Yes, a lot of us are lost. There are a lot of lost parents that have not found themselves. That's true, I can guarantee you that. But here's the thing. We can't focus on the people that are lost. We can deal with them another time. What we need to focus on are the ones that we can save, the people that we can make a change. Then we can focus on the people that are lost. Let's focus on making the world safer for our children the right way. Then we can focus on everything else. It's just like I hear a lot of people say, they killing up each other, or they're doing this or they doing that to each other. Let's stop focusing on what everybody else is doing to each other. And let's focus on bringing the people together that we can bring together as a whole to make the world different and better for our children. Let's focus on being one race first, and not all these, and dividing us into cultures and labeling cultures as race, to know that we are only one race, the human race. And then once we achieve that, then we can focus on the people who are killing people or destroying people in their cultures. Then we can focus on that. The people who are causing destruction in their communities. Then we can focus on that. Let's try to focus on what really matters, most importantly. Changing the world to make it a safer place for our future. And I mean for the human race. Funniest shit in the world, man. Y'all gotta know square shit, bear shit. God bless y'all.